What is up, everybody? SDFC bros. Welcome back to another podcast video. It felt like we haven't been here for a minute. It feels like I don't know.
I mean, we were here last Monday,
week.
but I mean, as soon as we wrap up the question, the last podcast, just the most most important news started showing up.
Yeah, definitely. We were CONCACAF Champions League, right? That whole thing. A couple like transfers.
Who stays,
who goes, right? The roster decisions.
Yeah.
And then SDFC put out the Tyler Heaps, Mikey Varas little interview podcast. And then we even got a brand new player.
We did.
Lots and lots to talk about.
Thank God we got him. We didn't do a podcast yesterday. Because we would have had to do one again.
Yeah, it was kind of... not necessarily finalized, but, it was in the works. I got you. But, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out. Links in the description below. Instagram, TikTok. Check out SoFly Hats as well. They be cooking some good little stuff. So, Carlos, ready to jump in?
Let's jump in.
All right, let's go. So, I want to talk about CONCACAF Champions League Cup first because that was the first kind of news that came out. So, we are playing Pumas first leg in SD, February 3rd, and then second leg is in Mexico, February 10th. And then whoever wins this game would play Toluca, who just won
the league.
Liga MX.
Amazingly, too, by the way.
What a game that was.
Yeah,
feel bad for our Tigres boys, but...
Yeah, no, they were down crazy for them to win.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Even I was watching that one. And then, speaking of Pumas, they finished last season in 10th place. So, I don't know. I think this is kind of your kind of ball knowledge field here because it's Liga MX. So, first reactions when you saw we drew Pumas, what was it?
I mean, Pumas don't take any credit away. They did finish 10th, but they're a historic club, and they do have some okay players. It's just, La Liga MX is hit or miss sometimes. They run a really weird system where it's two seasons in
like split in half.
Yeah, in a year. So it's kind of like sometimes to catch somebody on the right form isn't going to be always the same, you know what I'm saying? Because next season they might be first or not, Sure. But they kind of are not that great right now. That begs the question: are they better than San Diego FC? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's Liga MX. We kind of saw what happens when we do play Liga MX teams.
Right, Leagues Cup.
Like some people but we did play some very tough opponents regardless. Yeah. But still, I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game overall, and I think. But I do. The only thing that I have is it's our first game. We're not our season.
First game of the season. Well, for Pumas, wouldn't it be their first game as well?
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting, but we'll see what happens. I think it's just gonna be one of those games where we'll see what happens because we'll literally have no news, no anything to go off of this new team. Yeah, this new team. What we're gonna do until the game of. But then going to play Toluca is. Probably gonna be,
that's gonna be nuts. But I mean, look, not kind of going ahead, but kind of just touching upon what Mikey Varas said. He's like, we want to play the top teams, because it's like if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. So I think that's kind of an obvious statement. But in terms of for this Pumas game, at least for me, right, kind of just from the outside looking in, not really in the Liga MX kind of field and everything like that, I was like, okay, it's not bad, right? Because it's I'm kind of looking at how we played in Leagues Cup versus who is it? Pachuca, Tigres, and then Mazatlan.
Right.
I'm looking at those. I think versus Pachuca, I think it was kind of an interesting one where it's I think we maybe could have done something in the game, but I think it's just because at that time, right, we were still, that was us fresh off of the Iloski situation. So that was still kind of going on. And during the month of July, our form kind of dipped a little bit.
Right.
So.
No, I think I'm just excited for this because this is a little different than Leagues Cup, 100%. This is, and I think a lot of clubs view this a little differently.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is there's one home game and one away
two
game.
Legs.
And they're actually going abroad, you know what I'm saying?
To Mexico.
So I think it actually just will make everything a little bit more exciting, you know what I'm saying? And us playing Pumas is also going to be really cool because our team is going to be traveling into Mexico to get that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
first time in Mexico,
Right, first time in Mexico.
Right.
And it's going to, I don't know, it's going to expose a lot of these young talents to new sides, new things. Give them more to do, and also bring a lot more eyes to San Diego FC, which I think we've had a lot of eyes from this last season, and now
definitely.
I think we're going to be coming as a very respectable team from Liga MX. People are going to be watching and tuning into us, everybody already knows San Diego because of Tijuana. So I think,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just even more, it's going to be like, oh, who is the new kid on the block? So it seems really exciting.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm definitely like excited for this too, especially because of the point, how you were saying, you're going to have a lot of these young players exposed to a new atmosphere, right?
Right.
Liga MX ball, that's something that, probably only, one player in our roster, maybe two with Annie Ball. Right. Chucky, obviously known for playing in Liga MX, but it's like, other than that, a lot of these really haven't had that exposure to Liga MX ball.
No, and I think it will help us out in a lot more important situations, like kind of like that playoff against Vancouver. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or playing away in Portland when we lost. You know what I'm saying? Like these are going to be pivotal things for this team to go into the new year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And be like, oh shoot, like this is real. You know what I'm saying? It's really like intense, and then be a little bit more on their like foot forward, because I think like we were gonna get into their interview, but like Tyler Heaps said, like we hadn't played a team like Vancouver like that in a really long time. You know what I'm saying? So playing Pumas or stuff like that is going to remind this team like, this is the level of competition we need to be at every single time,
Right. I think it's also good because it is kind of like first game of the season, right? But it's like first game of the season, but it's a game you kind of have to play at a top level. It's not like preseason where it's like, kind of just getting your feet warm and everything like that. So it's like, that's, I think, the only thing that kind of worries me is, right, the player's on vacation right now. So then you kind of just drop them into like a high intense game, right? Granted, first leg is at home. So I think that's going to be somewhat of a benefit to us. But I think regardless of the fact is, that's kind of, I think the only thing that's kind of worrying me right now is like, that's the first game of the season and it's a tough one, respectfully. So,
well, I think some of these players are going to be like, it's South America as well too, right? Not Brazil, Argentina.
CONCACAF Champions Cup. It's like Argentina. Central America.
Okay.
So it's like, you got like your Panama teams, your Costa Rica teams,
cool.
Stuff like that.
So I mean, they're going to be traveling abroad for a while.
Right. Yeah. So, and I think the tournament for like Champions League ends in like April, I think, or May. So that's when the final would be. So it's like if you're playing MLS season and then Champions Cup, right, all that like in between, that's going to be a very clustered
Well,
schedule.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a little bit better than the League's Cup, where it's gonna, what I'm saying, where it was like all at one
fairs, it was like all like a week.
A week and a half. Where this one is like, it's important, so you're only playing it in certain times, so you can prepare for it just a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah, it's like the whole like first and second leg is a week from each other. So it's like, right, you play February 3rd, right? You're like, all right, this is what we can work on, training and everything like that. And then February 10th rolls around, going to Mexico. Where is Pumas like located?
The DF, I think.
Let's see if you're right. I'll be very impressed if you are. Mexico City.
Yeah, I told you.
Fairs. It's dope. So so definitely a long flight away from SD.
Right.
But so I think that's what's really interesting. But let us know in the comment section below what you guys think about like the draws. What were your kind of reactions to seeing Pumas, and what are San Diego FC's chances of going through? So I wanted to talk about what we were kind of alluding to earlier, right? The Tyler Heaps interview and the Mikey Varas interview podcast. So SDFC, they did a little end of the season kind of podcast with Mikey and Tyler, talking about like kind of how the season went and kind of like what we can kind of look forward to as fans for the next season. So Mikey talked about how we can continue this momentum from last season into this season. Also talked about mentality, how it's going to be from the team with the competitiveness, and how exciting it's going to be to have all that from game one, rather than to kind of like grow that throughout the cross of the season, and especially with the fan support as well. Right towards the tail end of the season, you really saw it, morph into something that was like really like visually like, okay, like San Diego is a football town, right? And also he made it clear that we need a big squad. So I wanted to talk about like what Tyler said, and then we'll kind of dive deep into it. And then Tyler Heaps was saying he emphasized sustainability and that we're going to play a lot of games this year, right? In a short amount of times, right? MLS, Leagues Cup, Champions Cup with a World Cup break mixed in between there. So he also made it clear that we need depth in all positions with players that can play multiple spots while being able to adjust when needed and to be versatile. And we will make more signings, confirmed from him.
Right.
So kind of just like overall, like kind of like reactions to that. What is like what like really like makes you like excited like going forward?
Well, I think just like I think overall it's both things that you want to hear from your coach and your sporting director. You know, a lot of what they said was like why I'm such a fan of Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps. You know what I'm saying is because they're open and honest, and I feel like in a lot of other teams and leagues they're not very, you know what I'm saying, straightforward with you. But Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps both came out and, you know, said what we wanted to say, and even kind of, you know, dish some, you know, Tyler, we'll talk about that too, dish some stuff too, you know what I'm saying? But no, I really like how Mikey Vadas, like one of your biggest things point, he says like at the beginning of the season, it kind of felt like, okay, let's make these games as entertaining as possible. You know, the fireworks, the flashiness, the celebrities, all of this stuff being there. But then towards that later half of the season, you completely see, no, the entertainment is the soccer. You know what I'm saying? Not the show around it. And he started to see like, oh my God, especially in that Vancouver game, it was like, it was entertaining to just watch soccer, which how soccer should be. You know what I'm saying? Very exciting things to hear, like how he's observant of that around him, and how he's observant that like, not observant, but like how important soccer is to him. You know what I'm saying? As a coach, and to make like what's happening off the field is not important. What's happening on the field is exactly what's important, and you hear that from Mikey Varas from day one. I also think it's also important to what he said is no new signing should come in here thinking that they're going to be third, fourth, or fifth place. They should be aiming to be number one. It says, and we've kept it frank. You know what I'm saying? We've come people say you're third DP. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not DP. You're third string.
Choice,
You're third string. He's like, but I don't want one person to come in here and think that they can't change my mind and why I shouldn't give them an opportunity to win. And like I think that's important as well too. Is like he's like there's no one important player, and he talked about that. I mean, I don't think he went into he didn't get into like the whole Chucky situation, but I mean you can
of course I think he kind of alluded.
Yeah, he was alluding to that, and where he's saying like, you know, essentially like there's no big person, and he's like I hate how some clubs, you know what I'm saying, that some person comes here and you can't do this or you can't do that because that's the star player. Here there is none of that. It's like there's not one star player. Everybody does their job, and if you're not doing your job, you're done. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that. And then going into Tyler Heaps, I think what I really liked about him is kind of calling us out a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Not in a huge expensive way, but like just saying like, yeah, you know, we didn't show up against Vancouver. Would I like us to show up against Vancouver? Yes, but we weren't prepared for that. Again, that's great from a sporting director to see our flaws, and you know, and again, a lot of things like from Mikey and Tyler, like embracing our flaws. You know what I'm saying? Not really going away, not ignoring them, and also not like attacking us at the waist. You know what I'm saying? Just
wabi sabi.
Right. Just being perfect. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just a perfect middle ground.
Right.
And you know, see them and then saying no, but there's a solution to this. And again, what was important is we have answers to one of our biggest problems. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, does this squad have depth? Does it not? And are our coaches, are our squad, are everybody taking it seriously? And what I got from those interviews is all of our answers are answered. Tyler Heaps is looking for more. He understands our frustration. He knows we need more depth. He knows there are things to do. I know Mikey Vadas is taking this seriously. And at the end of the day, these two people clearly care about San Diego and believe that this team will get a championship.
Yeah, I think judging by like Tyler Heaps is like kind of not necessarily attitude, but kind of just like how he was talking, right? Saying like, you know, like our flaws and this and this. I think he does realize, I think the club made a mistake letting Iloski go. So I think this was kind of just like a little like kind of like not foreshadowing, but like he was kind of saying it without saying it.
Right.
And I think one of those things was it's like he was saying like we need to have proper depth and we need to really like be prepared for the season because it's a long one. And I think how he's kind of structured this squad, right, with GAM, right, general allocation money, and I kind of did a little.
We keep using GAM like crazy.
So yeah, so I asked ChatGPT because I was just like GAM, right? I just didn't really like understand like why is this so important? Why do we have so much of it?
Right.
So I chucked it in ChatGPT and I was like, explain GAM to me like I'm in second grade.
Right.
And they made an example like imagine GAM as like a coupon that MLS gives every single team. It's like a free coupon, like free money to spend on like whatever you want, right? And judging depending on how good you do with the season or if you make player sales or like something like that, right? The league will give you GAM. So obviously SDFC sold Iloski. We probably got a shit ton of GAM from the league. So imagine, right, a player costs $1,000, right? And let's say SDFC has $700 of GAM that the league gave us. All we have to do to pay out of our pocket is $300 because we have $700 worth of GAM, right? So it's kind of like that. So I was like, damn. So SDFC, we just recently signed somebody with GAM.
Right.
We got, I think, Bombino with GAM. So it's like we have like all of this like stuff. So it's like we're not even spending our own money essentially. Like the league is giving it to us, and we're just like, fair enough. Here you go.
And so where's this GAM coming from again? Like, how do you get?
So the GAM, you get it by either like selling players, and then like the league will kind of compensate for you.
Oh, I see.
In that way, or like if you have a really good season, right? Obviously, SDFC went damn near all the way. They went probably the furthest you could go without winning the whole thing.
Right.
Obviously, bar like Vancouver and all that. So it's like the league gave us GAM for that, and obviously it's our inaugural year. So we probably already were sitting on a ton of GAM from the beginning. So that's kind of just like to give a little context and kind of like what it is.
So we should have a lot more money that we could probably use.
So it's like like I said, like we're spending money that we still have, I guess you could say. Or it's like we're not even spending our own money.
It's house money.
Yeah, house money, exactly. There you go. So I was kind of just like clocking that as I was reading that. I was like, damn, like Tyler Heaps really knows how to kind of navigate like these sorts of things. And I think the Pellegrino transfer, I think as well, was done with GAM. Corey Byard was done with GAM. So it's like, again, we're just sitting on this pile of money that we haven't even touched yet, right? Mohamed Mansour money that hasn't even been touched.
That we haven't had to play.
So, right. So
it's like honestly entering the casino table to play blackjack and your friend giving you $100.
Literally.
You make 2,000.
Right.
And then you're just playing off 2,000.
Literally.
And you never even, you know what I'm saying?
100%. So I just wanted to tip my hat to Tyler Heaps and kind of how he's been navigating this whole roster build. And I mean, just the success you already see from who we've already recruited, right? Ian Pilcher, Manu Dua at the collegiate level, right? Just each of their own could go for 7 figures, 8 figures maybe, if the price is right there. But regardless of the fact is, Tyler Heaps is cooking up something great.
Well, that's so interesting because then GAM doesn't really like exist nor doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's like a concept.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, because like if I'm gonna pay somebody with GAM, then I've given you GAM.
Right. So you just like trade it over, but there's no like exchange.
Yeah, but that person didn't get paid that many GAM. They just got paid with potential GAM.
Right. It's like it's a coupon.
No,
you know
it's crazy.
I mean?
No, that's actually insane. Because like if I have $1,000 in GAM and you have none, but I'm gonna buy something from you with $1,000, I'm gonna say, okay, well now you have $1,000 in GAM.
So, oh, thanks.
And then you have to make a deal with somebody else.
Yeah. Or I could sit on it.
Right. Or trade that GAM. But you've never really received $1,000.
It's not money.
Yeah, it's not
money.
What I mean? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is strange, but it's interesting to kind of see how
that's crazy.
Kind of happens. But shout out ChatGPT, man. That's a brilliant little example. But so I just want to tip my hat to Tyler Heaps, and then expanding on what Mikey Varas was talking about, right? Having like that mentality and that, I guess, drive to have players, right, play for that top spot. Like it doesn't matter if so-and-so is in front of you. You still have a chance to make a real voice in this team to become a starter. And I think Manu Dua is a great example of that. Bombino is a great example of that. You know, you have a lot of like these guys that really came into the team out of nowhere, you know, and I mean, they're bona fide starters to say the least. So
no, I think everything's spot on, and I think like at the end of the day, I just want to give my thanks to Mikey Varas and as well as Tyler, like you said, just real ballers and real people who really truly believe in San Diego and the culture in San Diego. And again, Mikey Varas, I mean, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, he went to like one of the supporter groups like Christmas party, and we're just hanging out there. So it's just like, when you have a coach that believes so much in San Diego culture, it's important because it's not just a player, it's not somebody who, and I think that's just like the important thing about San Diego and why San Diego football was so big and why the Padres are so big is because like you're not just feeding into people's love for baseball, or you're feeding into people's love for the San Diego, you know what I'm saying, and the culture. And Mikey Varas is just one of those coaches, man, that is gonna go down in history.
Yeah, and I think it's like because he has the streets, it's like the players kind of like view that as like very like credible. It's like, you know, like Mikey Varas probably says it in like the locker room. He's like, you know, I've like heard from like so and so this and this, like all these like stories. It's like play for them, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, and I think the players like definitely like have bought into that like emotional element of it.
Agreed.
You know, to really play behind the badge. There's a famous saying, Francesco Totti. He said, "Play for the badge on the front, not the name on the back." And exactly. I think that's just like the perfect like example of like how Mikey Varas has been moving as manager this whole season.
No, I mean, agree
on top of that, brilliant man manager as well, right? I think he gets the best out of a lot of these younger guys, and he puts that faith in them to really make a really big impact in this team.
No, I agree, and I think it's just like you said, I forgot what you were saying, but something about his legacy or something like that. Like I don't want to be seen as somebody.
He was saying that like he doesn't want to be like a small a big piece in a small project. He'd rather be a small piece in a big project.
And the way that from right. Like that's what hit me, because it's like that's what he sees San Diego winning a championship, a big project. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just about let me just get a random team. You know what I'm saying? I got this, and let me move on from it. It's like he believes in this project as much as everybody else does, and he wants to be here for a while. Yeah. And honestly, I believe he's gonna be here. Like
he's gonna be here for a while, because I think it's like he's very humble, because he's not like, you know, it's not just me like, you know, putting together the lineup and then, you know, they go play football. He's like, it goes down to the ball boy, the kit guy, and like to everybody in this organization to make San Diego FC what San Diego FC is. So it's really like comforting to have a manager.
They're gonna need a statue for him, man. And I'm not joking.
Definitely. No, I agree 100%.
He's gonna be like what like in football, isn't there like the what's his
John
name?
Madden or like
or who's the Patriots coach?
Belichick.
Yeah, like Belichick for the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna be one of those things.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be an icon for SD for sure. I think so. But let us know what you guys think. If you guys saw the podcast, definitely 100% would recommend the listen. I thought it was just a really good, really helpful insight to kind of see like where their mindset is at, like, especially in the off season too, because a lot of important moves that had to be made. And speaking of that, roster decisions, right? This was something that I think was on, the minds of a lot of fans, because SDFC, right, they waited until after the season was over to really make these decisions. And I think right off the bat, Luca Della Torre and Franco Negri, SDFC has declined their options to extend. And those were kind of like the big, like, I think, losses that we had so far. So off the rip, and then we'll kind of just go down like as we keep going. But Luca Della Torre, Franco Negri. I know Negri was kind of one of your favorite players in the squad. Yeah. So, but just expand on kind of how like you've been thinking about that.
Well, I mean, I think Negri was supposed to be our designated left back. I think that 100%. Bambino steps up in a point where Negri wasn't showing up as much, and then Bambino overtakes that. And I get that. For me, the only thing is like I don't understand why we let go of Negri. If we are talking about like having more depth and everything like that, why are we letting go of somebody who, at least for me, seemed comfortable being like a second role? Maybe it's Negri on his own who wants to leave and understands like, you know, like this is a growing club, you know what I'm saying? But again, at the end of the day, like he also posts on his Instagram like how much love he had for San Diego during this time. So it's a little bittersweet, but I understand the decision if we're going to go and get different players to follow him. But that's the only one that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because it's just like, I feel like Negri, unless Negri wanted to leave on his own, then I understand. But if not, I think he would have been a great second option.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought Negri was always like a really good like rotation piece, right? If you saw a lot of times like in the game where it's like we would take out, like let's say Ian was at right back, we move Bambino on the right, and then you throw Negri on the left. So that was something that I was a little bit like surprised on too, because it's like he definitely was, I think, one of the first names like off the bench, like if we needed to make like a tactical change.
Especially because we don't have another left back right now.
And we don't have another left back. So that's like something that is really kind of concerning, and kind of how I'm like really monitoring that left back situation to see, it's like, all right, who are we going to bring in and what type of profile are they? Are they going to be like a Bambino similar, or are they going to be like, you know, more of like an offensive fullback? I don't know. So that was kind of,
regardless of whoever you're coming in, you're asking that person to be second
to Bambino, right?
Unless they're looking for a really high talented left back and then telling Bambino go back to
second string. That would be crazy, but I think it's.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, I think with how like Mikey Varas was saying, it's like they're gonna bring in players that should think that they're able to fight for a starting spot.
So, and that's the only thing. So I don't know, but I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting too. And then Luca Della Torre. This was something that it wasn't as surprising just because it's like it was kind of lingering, and I think the writing was on the wall a little bit because it wasn't really getting a lot of like play time towards the end of the season.
You can't use Gam on Luca Della Torre.
Can't use Gam on Luca Della Torre because he's from Celta Vigo, right? So Gam only works with MLS, by the way. So just a disclaimer, but Luca Della Torre, I think the writing was on the wall for this one. I think this one was just one of those moves that it was kind of, I think, mutual as well, right? I think Luca Della Torre was like, he's like, all right, I can still make a move to the men's national team, right? Because I think that was like kind of his goal. At the end of the day, was trying to see like if he can maybe sustain that level to make the national team and to be on that World Cup roster. But obviously it kind of sucks to see him go, right? San Diego guy. Obviously, we had a good little connection with them as well, having that interview. But I think this was one that I think it's something that I'm really looking towards the future, where I'm like, okay, I'm looking at Alvarado to see if he's gonna really take this move and be like, okay, now this is my spot, right? And also Pedro Soma. I think these are guys that are gonna really look at this situation to, kind of see the doors open to, get in that starting spot.
No, I agree with you 100%. And honestly, I think we would have all been grateful to keep Luca Della Torre, but again, it just comes down to Celta Vigo not wanting to move his price point. And honestly, he's going to fit in another club very well, and another club who's willing to pay his amount, and anywhere in Europe. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks, you know what I'm saying? But I think you're very right. For the future of San Diego FC, for that price point, it's not fitting what we have. You know what I'm saying? If it would have been then I totally get it. But he's going to be a very important player for another team, 100%. Just not for, I think, the future that we're trying to build, especially with these younger players.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this isn't about Luca Della Torre, but it just really makes me think about like Alvarado, where he's kind of going to fit in this. And there's another like saying from Milan's like old CEO, right? When a player's like injured the whole season and they come back, right, the next season, it's like, oh, it's like a new signing. Right. So Alvarado, I feel like, is going to be kind of like a new signing a little bit, because it's like, yeah, we got a little taste of like what he can get, and obviously like we've mentioned in previous podcasts how he was kind of hitting that stride into really good football, and then he got that injury.
And honestly, he looks like a really humble. We've met him, of course, and he just seems like a really great person, and like he was getting into his spot, and I think we're going to be able to entrust him in this move, and I think he's hungry to prove to the team as much as well. Like you said, he's a new signing now, and I think we're going to get an even better Alvarado than we would have gotten with him prior to being injured, because he's been in that mentality. He's be able to eat it, like live in it, and just hear it. Now he's going to be able to show up and show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's a really good point as well. And then continuing on with the roster decisions, SDFC exercised the contract extensions of Cisniega, Ian Pilcher, and Anibal Godoy. So honestly, I think those are 3 solid W's. I think those are just like one of those where it's like you were hoping, they would kind of, get over the line. Obviously, Ian Pilcher really towards the end of the season has made a name for himself. Anibal Godoy obviously just been a veteran this whole season. And then Cisniega definitely tail end of the season, right? That Portland game saving 2 pens, right? Helmet Cisniega, right? So I think those are just 3 solid W's that I think we had to extend. What do you think?
Right, no, I agree with you 100%. I think Godoy, like all of them are just perfect signings. Ian had to stay, you know what I'm saying? Like we were building a future with him, and if not, he's going to be a great sell person later.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I think Ian's future is a, because he's so, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Ian's future is 100% with San Diego. Of course I want him to stay, but I think if he continues to do good, we are going to have a very good contract or track record.
Like you're going to listen to offers.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be big offers, because he's a very
good player.
Yeah. But regardless, I think great. Cisniega, just another good backup goalie, somebody we don't really have to buy. You know what I'm saying? We have Cesar Santos, he's going to be number 1. Cisniega, I think with his age, is comfortable being that second hand. You know what I'm saying? And showed up and did the best season that he could. Obviously, if we don't sign Cisniega, we're going to have to go get another goalie, or we just have Duran. You know what I'm saying? But he's still really young, and I think for San Diego FC, it's good for 3 right now goalies. and then have Duran just continue to just learn as much as he can until he can get that first, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, definitely, 100%. And then the permanent signings that, signed, sealed, delivered. Valakari, contract until 2029 with an option contract until 2028 with an option till 2029. Pellegrino, contract through 2026 with an option to extend for 27. And then David Vasquez on a permanent deal. So, honestly, again, 3 other solid, very good permanent acquisitions. Valakari, right? Definitely one of the surprises of the season, I think, right? Just how consistent he was, how his ability was to be able to go striker one game, left center mid the other game, maybe play a little bit deeper in some. And I mean, I think just his versatility was something that really kept us afloat this season, and he was just a reliable option for Mikey Varas to go into these games. Talk about Pellegrino for me, and because I know this was your boy. I feel like since he's came.
Yeah, no, I think the best way to talk about him is like exactly what he posted on his Instagram story. I don't know if you saw him, but he did like a recap of the year, and he says, "This is something that I haven't felt. I found a new level of myself since I've left Norway." Like, think about that.
Right.
Like, he found something here, and I picked up on it from the moment that he stepped into San Diego.
Right.
And then I think the rest of us felt it as well too.
Definitely.
But he is on a very like wow, I'm excited to play soccer again. You know what I'm saying? And with a team that I really love and enjoy. And I think that that's just gonna be beneficial to us. I don't know our striker situation now. It seems like Tyler does understand it a little bit.
Right.
So we're just gonna go forward. But regardless, I think Pellegrino. I know we had our talk beforehand, but I think Pellegrino is gonna be a great addition to this depth that we're going to have to really explore.
Yeah, certainly. And then obviously David Vasquez on a permanent deal. This is someone that I was like pretty high on. And then in the Leagues Cup kind of era that SDFC was playing in, he had a lot of starts.
Question for you: Where does he play? Because we had we had him everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just a versatile winger. I think he can play on the left, he could play on the right, and I think for us keeping him on a permanent deal is going to be really good. He's obviously very talented as well, so I think with the young core that SDFC is trying to build, this could be like the successor to Dreyer, right? Or to Chucky, or however you kind of see it. That's kind of how I see Vasquez, right? Maybe not so much he's going to be a star right overnight, but I think over time, I think he's going to just slowly fill in those boots that Dreyer currently has right now. So that's someone who I'm really excited about. But you talked upon the striker situation a little bit. You don't really know kind of the effect of that. And I think I think that conversation really started to come about was obviously when Iloski was sold. Just real quick, just the record with Iloski: 8 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, with a plus 14 goal difference during his run in SDFC, which is unreal. Like, that's just incredible. And our current strikers are Ingvartsen, Tomas Angel, Pellegrino, and the new signing, Lewis Morgan. So this is someone that is really interesting to kind of see where his level is kind of at. Overall, just thoughts on Lewis Morgan in general.
I mean, it seemed like the play style, from one of the highlights of the play style that he had at New York Red Bulls, is going to fit very well with San Diego FC. So I'm excited for that. But the biggest thing is injury prone. I'm hearing. So, I mean, what are we doing, man? We had Ingvartsen out for so long already. What are we doing? Just hoping we have the best medical staff on the world, or what?
Yeah, Lewis Morgan, he did have an ACL injury last season, so he was out pretty much the whole season. But in his previous season, 13 goals, I think 7 or 9 assists, which is still very good.
Right.
And kind of just from the clips that I was watching, he's a very versatile striker. He can score with his left, score with his right, score with his head.
He's shooting from far too.
Shooting from far, so he gives Iloski a little bit.
I know what you're saying.
He gives shades of that, because we're talking about like a true out-and-out 9 who's not afraid to, have a shot on goal and to really have that confidence to put the ball in the back of the net. And just based off of what I was seeing from clips, Morgan gives that sort of energy.
Yeah, let's just hope he stays
Yeah, and I think that's the deciding factor at the end of the day.
Do you think we are looking for another striker, or he's the one that we were trying to get
Ooh,
and go after?
that's a tough one because, like I said, we already have Vartan, we have Tomas Angel and Pellegrino. Obviously, you add Morgan into this equation as well. I think it's one of those. If you see Tomas Angel, walk away, then I think we do bring on someone. But I think this is going to be something that not a lot of fans want to hear. I think that's it for strikers.
I might have to agree with you as well too. I don't think.
Because 4 strikers already is a lot.
Yeah, and I think this wasn't a decision that was made, what's it called, overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think we were planning on
this. Has been planning, it seems like, for a while because this happened very quickly. You know what I'm saying? And within a matter of, 2 days, we've rumors circulated, then we have him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think this is something that's like we've been in this guy's ear for a while. We've been planning. I think Tyler Heaps has been planning just as soon as we're ready. Let's go on the all-out attack. So I think this might be our solution as well too, unless either Vartan gets leaving.
Then that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but I think also with signing Pellegrino, I think this team was very confident that it was going to be Morgan who comes forward.
Yeah, and I think also what I was kind of clocking in the interview with Tyler Heaps and everything like that, he was saying that we want to sign versatile players. And I know Morgan can play on the left as well.
And the right wing.
And then Pellegrino can also play on the left or down the middle as well. So it's like, I think you have just a lot of moving pieces to really, test our quality, and also I think to prepare for injuries as well, because again, we're playing a lot of games this season.
Right, and I think that's something to, it's like Mikey Varas did say, like, I want the headache.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't give me like players that, and I think that was the biggest thing, like, I don't give me players that I know are going to be the starter. No, I want players to be the best ever, because I want the headache to see who's going to be the best one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important because, like, we're signing these good players and stuff, and it's like, well, who's going to be where? And it's like, he wants that headache.
It's a good headache to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting to kind of see where Lewis Morgan kind of falls into this equation, right? Because then it's like if he comes off a hot start, right, then he's going to be, like an Eloski type player in my eyes. That's kind of how I see him. And it's like you see a lot of players come to SDFC and they're completely reborn, right? They're bought into the system and, they're really lethal in this team, right? I think Pellegrino is the perfect example to that. So I think that's something really, really important to kind of look at. So Lewis Morgan, be on the lookout for him.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
So and then I have just a little treat, a little cookie for the fans here. There's this rumor that I was not sold on whatsoever, and it's the potential sale of Manu Dua. And for me, this was something I saw on Twitter.
Right.
And this was something that, like, just off the rip, initial reactions, I was like, there's no way. I just can't see San Diego FC letting go of a player of his magnitude and how, number one, how technically gifted he is and how important he is to this lineup and just the qualities that he brings into this team. But rumors are kind of circulating that the offer that would come to the table would be like an 8-figure kind of deal.
Right.
So we're looking up north of $10 million for the sale of Manu Dua. Would you entertain something like that?
100%.
100%, just like that.
No, of course, it's a lot of money, and again, it's Manu Dua has a ton of potential, and I'd love for him to stay in San Diego. But they're offering quite a bit of money for the future of him. And again, at a certain point, Manu Dua is going to leave. He's going to leave. He's so good. He's going to leave San Diego only because the big clubs are going to be asking for him. And Manu Dua is coming from college, who, again, was walking around the stadium in his first few, to now an overnight sensation in San Diego, to now having offers north of 10 million. Like, he's going to
allegedly.
jump on. He's going to jump on the opportunity, regardless if we keep him or not. Like, I think that is something that's going to happen, regardless. Like, if he plays to the level that he's going to, those offers are going to keep coming. And at a certain point, you can't keep a player that long here in MLS.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, very interesting. For me, it's like, selfish Vince would think that, or rather want him to stay, right? And I mean, that's just me being selfish.
I want him to stay as well too, but he's just not. You can't ask. Put yourself in that position. You're not staying in San Diego. I'm sorry.
I think it's different because I'm from here, so it's I'd want to be a club legend.
But you're not staying here.
For me,
so you give up playing in the Champions League?
No, the only if I'm a player, the only team I'm going to Milan.
You're telling me Madrid knocks on your door? That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. You're missing out Champions League. You're missing out like.
Yeah, no, I hear it, but I think just selfish me would just want him to kind of stay and like that sort of thing. But it's like for me, it's like this is all just rumors. I'm kind of just throwing out little hypotheticals here. Well, just because from what I saw on Twitter.
No, I agree. But honestly, as well, I think he stays though, regardless.
Yeah.
He has a lot to still learn and stuff like that, and I think it's better to be a starter here in San Diego than to be maybe third-rate player in what's it called?
Like
in the Premier League or whatever.
Yeah, I hear that.
If he's gonna get that chance to be in there, though, sorry, we can't keep him. I'm sorry. Yeah. If he's gonna be starting in the Premier League for Fulham or something.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, definitely, 100% agree with that. So, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below about this whole kind of week of SDFC football. Very busy in the news. Right. Everything was kind of just going about. So, yeah, let us know what you guys think about Champions Cup versus Pumas. What are our chances about going through from there? What do you guys think about the interview with Tyler Heaps and Mikey Varas? 100% would recommend that. Listen, a lot of good little insight there. And then what do you think about roster decisions as well, right? I know a lot of moving pieces of the puzzle. De La Torre, Negri out the door, and then obviously, the contract extensions that we did. And then new signing, Lewis Morgan. Right. Very, very excited to kind of see where his level is at and, what he does for SDFC. And there's just a little bonus, Manu Dua. Should we keep him if the money is right? If the price is right, should we keep him? Or do we let him go? But guys, you got anything else to add?
No, I guess we'll see you guys when transfer deadline is up.
Yeah, around the end of the month, I would say.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out. Links in the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.